job by Coach Coleman. Jesse, we'll begin with you.
Hey, Coach. Kellen was on our show yesterday, and he said that the Kansas game was the most prepared he had ever been, and he gave you a lot of credit for that. So I was just wondering, how do you get these guys ready?
I don't take any credit for that. It's a game plan that we come up with with the leadership of Coach Calipari, and our guys are brought in, and that's the most important part is when you got the buy-in from the team, and these guys are all locked in, man, and they're listening to the game plan that we come up with, and they were able to perform it almost to perfection, and I give them all the credit. Coaching is obviously an external piece, but what they do is the internal piece, and so our guys are bought in. They're connected, and they just followed the game plan that was put together by Coach Calipari. I don't take any credit for that.
Lonnie Demery, go ahead.
Yeah.
Lonnie,
Are you there now?
There you
Are
go.
we there now?
Yeah.
Okay. Coach Cal alluded to the fact that he had pared his roster down to, his rotation rather, down to 7, possibly 8. The second, you may comment on that, but I got another part. Of course, this part I was going to ask him, but this may be somewhat rhetorical. You and him too, but there was a segment of fans in the stands the other day that were chanting, "Play Shaden, play Shaden." You may have a comment on it. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you may have a comment on it, if you will.
I have no comment on the shading piece. That's totally a comment or a question should be directed at Coach Calipari. I have no comment on that. But what was the other question?
The rotation being pared down to 7, possibly 8.
Again, that's another Coach Calipari's question. We have next man up kind of mentality on this team. We have a really good group. We have a deep group, and we got buttons that we can push or guys that we can call on. And it's just dependent on game to game. I think it's a game to game situation, and you have to always be ready when your number is called. And the guys that didn't get to play as much will get their opportunities, that's for sure. And Coach Calipari is giving them the confidence that they will get their number called, and just be prepared when that time comes. And when that time comes, just perform and to make them play them even more. So I think that that's a more of a Coach Calipari piece, but I couldn't speak to the fact that we have really good kids. They all like each other. These guys are all working extremely hard. The guys that don't play as much, they get extra workouts, extra lifts. They're doing their part so that they're ready when their number is called.
Jerry Tipton, go ahead.
Yeah, Jen, on Cal's radio show, he said with all the praise produced by the win at Kansas, he doesn't want the guys to get full of themselves. You know what I mean? Keep working. How susceptible do you think these guys are to, feeling like they've arrived and that's it?
Personally, text a couple of guys right after and yesterday, just so that we can defend against any letdowns. Because here's what I've said to those guys is that we didn't come this far just to come this far, right? We came this far to go further. So we got a veteran group, and we got some guys who can help our locker room keep the main thing, and that's to get better every game and to play at a high level every game, no matter who the opponent is, because we know that we're going to get everybody's best shot. And so we're going to defend against having any letdown. And Coach Calipari is not going to let that happen. Let's be clear. So we'll be fine. We're going to compete at a high level, no matter who it is. And the next important game is the Vanderbilt game, and we're going to play them like it's any other game.
And I wanted to ask you, I think Coach Cal said, I couldn't tell if he was kidding or not, that your responsibility along with the players is to warn Xavier of a back screen. He'd even let you get a technical, that would be fine, rather than Xavier hurt.
Yeah.
What is your role in that?
I think that because I got a loud voice, and I wear glasses so that I can identify when there's a back screen or a smack opportunity about to happen to Xavier. So because I have a loud voice, I've been given the responsibility to yell out that there's a smack so that we can protect Xavier. But that's everybody's job, and that's the guys that's on the floor's job. It's not just one person's job to identify that. And so, from a bench standpoint, because I have a loud voice, that coach wants me to use that tool that I have to identify that smack.
Larry Bach, go ahead.
Yeah, Chin, just wondering, the team played so well at Kansas, but you as a coach, what kind of ceiling do you still see? What's still out there that this team can do that we still haven't seen yet, in your opinion?
It's the pursuit of perfection. There's never been a perfect game played, but I think that we coach from a standpoint where the glass is half full, and we're always trying to fill it. So I think that we're going to continue to try to be better and get better, because we can. I mean, we're not nowhere where we need to be at this point. We played an unbelievable game. Our guys brought in, they followed the game plan, and let's see if we can do that again and again and again and again. And I think that that's always the challenge, is to how great we can become.
John Hale, come to you next.
Jim, there were questions early in the year about how you guys could play when Oscar wasn't on the court. So with that in mind, how important is it what Lance has been able to give you guys the last few games, especially as he's improved?
Lance has been incredible, and he's an unbelievable young man. Please understand that the position that he's in, he's playing behind a guy that's up for Player of the Year. And so we talk about that, being ready when your number is called. No one has done that to the level that Lance has done. And to be quite honest, he's continued to get extra work in the gym. He's always in the gym. He's always a selfless guy. He's the biggest cheerleader for everybody else. And I talked to Lance, and I told him that his time will come. He's going to be a big piece to help us being great. And he's doing amazing, man. And I'm so happy for him, because he could have folded. He could have went in the tank and pouted and listened to the clutter, but he's been a man, and he's doing an unbelievable job. And we're happy to have Lance, and he's going to help us a lot.
John Wong, go ahead.
And Coach Calipari said on his radio show that this team has never had a bad practice. Knowing him, I can't tell whether that's just coach speak or not, but how does these practices compare to maybe some of the ones that you've had at other schools that you've been to? What makes it so good?
I think it's because of our locker room. You got to have your locker room won before you can win basketball games. And so we've won the locker room piece. Our guys all like each other. They like being around each other. They like competing against each other. They like seeing each other celebrate each other, right? And so I think that because of that, our practices are competitive. These guys all like each other. These guys are pushing each other. And Coach Cal obviously does a good job of keeping a good balance in the competition, keeping a good balance and getting better in the individual piece. And our guys are, again, that bought-in thing, man. When you got a locker room that's bought in, a locker room that's connected, it's fun to coach. It's fun to be around, and they're fun to be around each other. So that's why our practices are really good.
Jeff Drummond, go ahead.
Yeah, Jen, you guys have been into some tough environments this year, and the team seems rather unfazed wherever they've been on the road this season. I'm wondering, what do you chalk that up to? What is it about the makeup of these guys that doesn't seem to let that rattle them?
The experience is the best teacher. I think that we got the right experience we needed at Notre Dame, right? And they had an unbelievable event set up there at that game where they retired one of their great players' jerseys. They did this, they did that, and they created an environment that prepared us for Texas A&M, prepared us for Auburn, prepared us for Kansas. Pretty much, Coach Kyle talks about it all the time that when you put on the Kentucky jersey, you everybody's Super Bowl. And so by talking about that, by giving these guys the blueprint and the answers to the test, it prepares them. But there's nothing like actually being in that environment. And so we're in those environments every time we're on the road. So it prepares us to play and perform in those environments. And at this point right now, we talk about roadkill. And that's something that we talk about. That's something that we say. It's us against everybody else. And our guys are taking that challenge and doing a good job with it. And we got some more challenges along the way. And hopefully because of those experiences, it'll continue to help us.
Kyle Tucker, go ahead.
Chen, can you tell you it's fun to coach a group like that, a locker room like that? Can you tell that how the fans to seeing guys play hard, seeing guys that seem to like each other and play with for each other? Can you feel that in the arena? It seems like there are reactions to that are positive team type things.
I think you should be able to feel it. I think the energy is infectious because of the energy that our team plays with, how they share the ball, how they cover for each other, how hard they play, how fast we play. I think that because of that energy that we perform with, I think that the fans should be able to feel that, and I hope that they continue to get into that and reciprocate that energy for us as we have some really tough games down at home down the stretch that we're gonna need the fans to give us their energy. So our energy, from a team standpoint, we always try to give energy, not take energy. Coach talks about that all the time, and our guys understand that, and so we try to give that to each other, and hopefully that spreads throughout Rupp Arena and Big Blue Nation.
Keith Taylor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, you coached in the Big Ten and also the addition to post you in the Southeastern Conference. What are the differences between the two conferences?
It's a lot of differences. I would say that more of the style of play. The Big Ten is a brutal, more physical. It's bigger. Like every team has 2 and 3 7-footers. This is a more faster, more athletic, paced league. I think. That I think would be the most differences would be the speed and the athleticism and the pace of play of which all of the teams play with, and they all play at a more of a, I guess you could say more of an NBA style because of the way that the teams are mostly built. The 3s and the 4s are all like guards, and in the Big Ten, everybody is really big and huge, and they play more mushmouth basketball than the pace of play that they play in the SEC.
Jerry, we'll circle back to you.
Yeah, Jen, you guys obviously have Oscar and Xavier, Kellen, Keon. It's 27. How big of a challenge is that for the opponents to set a defense when you got so many guys that are capable of scoring?
We hope that it's a big challenge. We hope that they have nightmares before they play us with the fact that we got, so many guys that are capable, and it's hard to scout against. On most teams, you can put a few guys at the top of the scouting report, and then you can worry about the relevant guys and try to keep the irrelevant guys irrelevant. But hopefully for us, because we have so many guys that are capable of impacting the game, that is tough for teams. You want to be a team that is hard to scout, a team that is hard to guard and hard to take away this guy, that guy, this play, that play. So I hope that, it's kind of hard for guys, but there's a lot of good coaches in this league. And so I'm sure that teams are devising schemes to play against us. And our job is to just follow our game plan and keep doing what we're doing and keep sharing the basketball, keep trying to elevate one another. And that's all Coach Calipari talks about.
And what challenge does Vandy give your all's defense?
Well, they had a kid that got 30 points on us last time we played him. So first and foremost, he's at the top of our scouting report. We got to do a better job with him. Also trying to continue to duplicate what we did with the other guys, but you can't let guys get 30 points. I think that a guy like him that gives you a chance that can beat you. When you got a guy that can beat you, you got to try to stop that particular person or player from beating you. So they play a small kind of ball, which puts at a disadvantage of multiple guys that can handle, multiple guys that can make plays. So their record is better on the road than it is at home. So we understand that. We know that they're a better team away from their building. And so I'm sure they're going to come in here with some confidence to know that they can win on the road. And we have to make sure that we do a good job of taking away probably an all-league guard. And he's got some other guys to go along with him. The first time we played him, Chapman didn't play. He's back playing. He's starting now. So that gives him another guy that can handle the ball. That gives him another guy that could take some of the pressure off of Pippen. So we got our hands cut out. We got to make sure that we're on top of our game for sure.
All right, John Wong, finish us off.
And you're kind of known as a defensive type coach, and yet we haven't heard a whole lot about Kentucky's defense this year. They've done some good things. I think they're underrated. Can you just speak generally about how you think the defensive effort has come along this year?
It's come along. It's a lot better. It's obviously your defense will continue to be a work in progress because every individual game has its own different dynamics. But to say that we're underrated, I don't know. Coach Calipari's Kentucky defensive team right now is top 20 in the country. So we're still striving to be a top 10. So there's still room for us to grow. We're not the best defensive team in the country, but we're striving to be. So Coach Cal's got us working on being better defensively every single day. So.
All right, well, thank you all so much, and thank you, Coach Coleman, for joining us today. We'll have everything sent out to you here later. All right, with questions, Lonnie Demery, we'll begin with you.
Yeah, Lance. Yeah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How are you?
Good. You seem to have settled into a role in that you are relieving Sweetway. And what do you feel like you bring to the floor when you come on? Come on the floor.
Yeah, when I get in the game, I try to bring as much energy as possible, provide a spark. Whether that means rebounding while Oscar's taking a break, or blocking shots, or just making the right play. Just kind of come in and just do whatever I can, whether that be for 5-10 minutes. Just do whatever I can to help the team keep momentum, or just get started.
Very good.
Jerry Tipton, go ahead.
Yeah, Lance, I wonder how you balance wanting to play with Oscar playing so unbelievably, trying to deal with those two things.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the cards that I was dealt. Oscar is really good, and the way he's playing right now is just unbelievable. And like I said, this is the role that I'm given right now, so I have to make the best of it. I could pout, not want to play, but I'm just gonna make the most of my opportunity and do what I can.
And I wonder, I listened to Coach Cal's radio show last night, and he was saying he didn't want you guys to get full of yourselves. Don't start thinking, we're here, maybe.
No,
how do you all react to all that? The praise.
I mean, it's obviously nice, but we know that there's bigger goals, and we have to still win games. Obviously, beating Kansas is a big win that we needed, but it's still more to accomplish. It was just kind of to hopefully that gets us going, and we could build off that. We just don't want that to be our last big win.
Thanks.
Kyle Tucker, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, Lance, I wonder, for a few weeks now, Cal has been sort of talking about you. It was coming along and bragging on you, even in games where maybe you didn't play a ton of minutes. He would single out some kind of effort you had made. I wonder how much that helped you just have confidence that he seemed to sort of believe that you were turning a corner and has that impacted how you play?
Yeah. I mean, it's big when your coach says stuff like that. Obviously, that gives me way more confidence. But it just makes me want to work harder. If he's giving me this praise, I want to keep on being able to perform. I just don't want it to be just one game. I want to keep on getting better every single game, and help my team every single game. So.
Larry Bob, we'll come to you next.
Hey, Lance, yeah, I was wondering, just kind of tell me a little bit, what's it like practicing against Oscar and going against him every day, and how's he made you better because you've had to do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's probably going to be in the talks for, National Player of the Year. Going up against him every day is a blessing. Obviously got me way better. The physicality part, being able to try to rebound against him, box him out, stuff like that, because you're not going to find that too often, somebody that's built like him and can do the things that he could do. So honestly, it's just, I love it, even though it's a challenge every day, but that's good. That's what I came here for. A challenge, and I definitely get that with Oscar.
So do you beat up on him some days in practice?
Yeah, I beat up those days.
John Hale, go ahead.
Lance, I'm sure you heard the talk too about, how does this team play when Oscar's not on the floor? That was such a storyline for most of the year. How much did you take that as kind of a personal challenge to prove that you guys could still be productive when he wasn't in the game?
Like I said, just, even when people say stuff like that, I just know what my role was going to be. As the season went on and we started playing more games, then I understood kind of what I had to do. And, like I said, if that's, being out for 10 minutes and trying to keep up the production level, obviously that's what I want to do. I want to go in and play as best as I can. I work hard. Everybody on the team works hard. So just like anybody, when we go in, you want to play the best you can and, not have any drop off as a team when you come in the game.
Dick Gabriel, go ahead.
Yeah, Lance, watching that rock fight last night between Duke and Notre Dame, the two teams that you guys played earlier, clearly you're better now than you were when you played them. What would you say? How are you guys better?
Just like anything, you get better with time. So when you are around a group of guys and, just mesh and, certain things are different. When we kind of played Duke, Notre Dame, it was still really early, like you said. And we just might have not had a feel with each other like we do now. So that's probably the biggest thing.
John Long, go ahead.
Lance, after the game on Saturday, it seemed like everybody was so happy for Keon and his performance. I think Oscar was more happier for Keon than he was for anybody else. But what does that say about Keon himself and about the team that you guys would be so supportive of him?
I mean, Keon's always there for all of us whenever we have a good game. Keon's definitely a leader. So when we see our leader, have a great game like he just did, obviously we want to show love and praise. Keon definitely helped us a whole bunch against Kansas, and he kind of deserved it. It was, we knew that Keon could do stuff like this, and we were kind of waiting for him to have a game like that, and I couldn't be any happier for him. I know the team, the coaches, so just we need Keon to do stuff like that more often, and then we'll be in good shape.
Gary Graves, go ahead.
Yeah, where do you feel like Oscar has made like the biggest influence on you guys as a group, and where do you feel like maybe you all have mutually kind of influenced him, helped him really develop into the kind of player that he is?
Honestly, it probably wouldn't even be on the court with Oscar. It'd probably be off the court with his personality and everything that he does for us off the court. He's just always in good spirits, and that's big. To be able to come in the locker room every day happy. And be able to pick everybody up. And obviously on the court, the stuff that he does is going to help everybody, him rebounding and stuff like that. But, we kind of help Oscar, especially me, sometimes in the bigs, if Oscar doesn't understand something, try to walk him through and, make adjustments, whether that had to be guard ball screen or stuff like that. So.
Christos, go ahead.
Hey, Lance, hope you're doing well. Lance, with Kim and Oscar on the floor at the same time, how big is the versatility of that group, and how different the dynamic is on both ends?
I mean, it's different. Just the stuff that me and Oscar definitely don't play the same. So when I'm on the floor, it's probably a little bit more spread out because I'm not in the paint as much posting up. So I'll probably be on the perimeter, dribble handoffs and stuff like that. So it's just floor spread a little bit more and just, probably a free-flowing offense.
Jared Tipton, we'll circle back to you.
Yeah, Lance, when you were asked about practicing against Oscar, it made me think that you have probably better insight than most people in how he does it, how he makes 20 rebounds seem almost routine. What do you think is his method? How's he doing it?
He's really strong. He can move you out the way. His timing is great. He just has a feel for where the ball is going to go. And kind of whenever he gets his hands on it, it's not going to come out. So if he touches the ball, he's probably going to pull it in. So it's just effort, really. He has a lot of effort, and that's the main thing, effort.
And one other thing, what memories come to mind when you played Vandy the first time? Anything stand out in your mind?
I didn't really play too much against Vandy, but I was definitely watching the game. But nothing in particular that stands out. I know they're a good team. They have a good win record on the road. And, we definitely have to come into this game prepared and, be ready for them because they're a really good team and, can potentially beat us. So we just have to play every game like, we went into Kansas.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Lance? If not, we will let him go and be right back with Coach Coleman.